this evening. We are live on our anxiety session. We did part one last week. We had a phenomenal session. Thank you everybody that came back, and if this is your first time joining us this evening, thank you for joining us to our information that you get. It should be informative, and just prepare your questions, write whatever you need to do so we get to our questions answered. You can. We're going to jump right into our two panelists to introduce themselves, starting ladies first.
Yes, I'm Dr. Scott Mason, Angela Scott Mason. I currently am practicing therapy in South Lake and in Dallas. And
Hey. Hey, Eric, the apostle. See everybody here today, and we hope that we can provide you here.
Praise God. Once again, thank both of you for being here, and to everybody that's on right in. Yeah. First, a lot of the symptoms of grief and depression, they talk about the differences of depression.
That's correct. Both grief and depression have a lot of commonalities, such as being tearful, loss of appetite. However, there's a clear distinction, or allow you to know whether you are in. So, excuse me. So, if you start to internalize some of these feelings, with feeling extreme guilt, low self-esteem, those are not synonymous with grieving. At that time, if you start to have those symptoms, it is likely that you're experiencing depression, and it's time to reach out for help. So, and especially, then you need to ask for because then that clearly is not a symptom of grieving.
So as Doc was saying, depression and grief, this is for the most part is brought on by something that may happen to you, and of course, depression is something that can come from a million different places. Chemically, a person can be depressed. That has to be the reason why you're depressed. So I believe there's a line there. Sometimes can lead to depression. For the most part, I would say. Now, this is I guess I can concrete by saying grief can always lead to some signs or symptoms of depression, even if they're acute. What would you say, Doc?
I would agree with that. Immediately when talking about acute grief, there are going to be those things like the crying and the overwhelming sadness that we often experience. Sometimes that changes people's appetites and sleep patterns. Even if, Mr. Cleveland talks about, depression can be from a lot of different things. Even if it starts out with grief or as grief. Even if it starts out as grief, there is a such thing as complicated grief. And so there is a such thing as it blending in or crossing that very fine boundary between externalizing your behavior, understanding that it is due to a situation, versus internalizing them. You're turning the blame and guilt on yourself, being bad for yourself, where the worthlessness, helplessness, it gets to that point, it has crossed the boundaries, it's beyond the grieving process.
And I'm going to lead into this for those of you who are writing notes or listening. I want to give everyone the 5 stages of grief. I think that'll kind of scope the rest of the questions that we'll have today. Do a acronym. I just call it, I always have, because I ain't trying to remember all those words. So, DAB, A, and it's denial, anger, depression, and acceptance. And so there are 5 stages and no matter what you're experiencing, which will lead to our next question.
There is not